Hi guys.
Hey.
As you know, I had my egg retrieval yesterday and I'm still feeling a little bloated and the cramps come and go, but nothing Tylenol can't handle. And I also went to acupuncture today to help with the symptoms and just to help relax me. So today we got our fertilization report, and the good news is that we got 27 eggs, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Way more than we expected. But unfortunately, we have some bad news too. So initially they told us that they only had to use one of the vials of sperm, and later on that day they gave us a call back and said that, you know, unfortunately they had to go into that second vial because the first vial only had 4 viable sperm. So we got our fertilization report back today, and unfortunately they could only find 7 sperm total in both of my frozen vials. Now, so if you subtract 27 eggs from 7 sperm, that means there are a whole lot of eggs left that are able to be fertilized. So they called us and gave us a heads up and said, you know what, you know, we only have 7 sperm from June, so do you want us to go into your donor sperm? So the story with the donor sperm is last year for our IVF, we got 2 vials of donor sperm as backup just in case this scenario happens. Basically, if they were to thaw the vials and say there are no viable sperm, then they'd have to use the donor sperm, because why go through all the injections and have all these eggs and then, oh, we don't even have anything to work off of, you know? So that was a whole process, an ordeal on its own, trying to go through the donor sperm process and trying to just fathom the fact that I may no longer be able to have biological kids of my own. You know, that was just a whole thing I had to deal with last year. And so yeah, I've dealt with it. If you asked me last year how I would have felt about that, I probably would have told you otherwise, but I think I've come to the point where I'm okay if we, you know, if the only embryo we have are from donor sperm, you know?
Yeah. So of that 7, only 1 sperm was able to fertilize of June. So we have that one.
Just one from
Still
me.
fighting.
Yeah, just one. So just
Yeah.
pray for that one. My one only sperm, and yeah.
And then the rest, we have 17 that fertilized from the donor sperm.
You know, we can see this as a good thing that we got 17 eggs that fertilized from the donor sperm, but unfortunately only 1 embryo from my sperm. So yeah, we've just been kind of dealing with that, and yeah, I've been
talking about it all day.
Real upset about that, but so we're just praying, hoping that, you know, that 1 embryo works out. So they're gonna let us know in a couple days, and you know, they're gonna continually track the progress on them, make sure that they're developing well, and we're gonna go from there. Yeah.
So in the back of our minds, we always thought of a scenario as, you know, what if the IVF didn't work? You know, would we do adoption? And then we thought about it, and we thought, you know, that would be too costly, and then you have to involve like legal lawyers and all that. And
I mean, we didn't count it out completely, but it's kind of like, all right, we've gone through 2 IVFs. If both of them don't work, do we want to like continually put ourselves in debt trying to start a family? I mean, we always thought of adoption like further down the line in the scenario that IVF doesn't work, you know?
And I always wanted to experience pregnancy, you know? So
yeah. So, you know, we've always talked about having families, like even from when we were in high school, we always talked about starting a family and like what that would be. I've always wanted a lot of kids, you know, and I come from a big family myself. I have 4 brothers. Each of my parents have like 5 or 6 brothers and sisters. I have a ton of cousins. We're just really like family oriented and just love hanging out with our families. And I mean, we have a huge family. So growing up, I never thought of like a situation where I wouldn't have kids, you know? Like, I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't want us to grow older and just regret not doing it, you know? When it's really in our hearts that we want to have children, you know? So
yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much our only update for now. We'll keep you posted on the status of the embryos. Hopefully they continue to grow well. Hopefully my last sperm continues to grow well too. And yeah.
We'll keep you updated on day 5. That's when they decide to freeze it.
So a couple people have messaged us, asked us about what type of cancer I had that caused the infertility. And when I was 16, I had acute myeloid leukemia. And so basically, the treatment for that was chemotherapy, and then I got a total body irradiation before I got a bone marrow transplant. So I want to believe that week-long total body irradiation that I had is pretty much what made me sterile. I had to go in there for like an hour every single day to get, basically the radiation kills all the cancer cells prior to getting the bone marrow transplant. That way there's no more of the leukemia cells in my blood. And yeah, that's pretty much what caused me to be sterile. So prior to the treatment, they told me to go to the reproductive doctor to save some sperm. Now during that time I was really sick. Like I had a super high fever, I just wasn't fighting off infections well, I had full-blown pneumonia, so I couldn't breathe. And then they told me to, you know, just go to the reproductive doctor and so they can freeze some sperm. And it's like, man, I couldn't hardly breathe. Like it was so hard to do that they couldn't wait. My symptoms were getting bad, so they had to start the chemo already. And I think I had been on like 1 or 2 weeks of chemo before I actually was able to go to the fertility doctor. And I want to believe that's why the sperm quality isn't so good. Maybe that's why the IVF last year didn't work either. Maybe the quality was no good from, you know, what they injected in the eggs. But yeah, so it kind of sucks, you know, I don't have any more vials of sperm left. But yeah, we still have hope in our 1 embryo left. But in the situation that doesn't work out, we do have the 17 eggs that were fertilized by the donor sperm. So, I mean, we still have a good chance, you know? Yeah.
We'll get through it.
We'll get through it, yeah. It's been a hard day today, you know, just dealing with this and hearing that, you know, I may not have a biological kid, you know? But I think I'm okay with the fact that, you know, I'm okay with using the donor sperm, and, you know, I'm still gonna love the child like it's my own, you know. How about you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's making me sad.
Ah, it's okay. Don't cry, babe. What's wrong?
Okay, we could end it then.
Huh?
Just end it already.
Love you.
No.